Hey guys, good morning. It is January 25th. It's January 25th, 2016. I don't know what day it is. Happy Monday. So, if this is the first time you ever watched one of these videos, it is the morning drive. Basically, it's a 15 to 20 minute video where it's me driving to work, and I answer the questions that you guys left on my YouTube channel from the video prior. The video prior to this one was on Friday, so I got a chance to read the comments. I enjoyed all of them. And I totally forgot my iPad, so I don't have my comments with me, so I'm not going to be able to exactly say them word for word, but I kind of remember most of them. So I will get started with those. Starting off was Tabletop Banter asking me, what was it like the first week at Mini Wargaming? It was stressful. Basically because everybody is always busy there. Like, I know there's times when I walk around and do the open vaults and it doesn't look like anybody's working. The thing is, we're almost always working. Like, something's always going on. Anytime you see somebody getting up and walking around, it's because they kind of need a break from just all the stuff they've been doing. That's really weird. There we go. Oh, I look like I'm glowing. That's how pale I am. Wow, I'm really pale. Okay, well, anyway. So everybody's usually always really, really busy. Well, I started on, and Steve was running around filming, so he couldn't kind of give me an idea of what to do or train me on anything. Matt was doing the Apothis campaign, so he didn't really have any time to do anything. There we go. Ha! Problem solved. Nope, still blowing like a Christmas tree. Okay. So nobody really had any time to kind of help teach me anything. And it was kind of, I'd get bits and pieces of information here and there, and Matt would kind of dedicate a little bit of time every week. He would dedicate about a day or about a half day to having me come in and kind of learn some stuff, and then he would let me out on my own. And the thing was, I couldn't come in and work because I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing. So what I ended up doing was, this is back when it was just War Machine I was covering. Back when it was just War Machine I was covering, I remember Matt said this, and I responded, and the response still sticks with me today because it was one of those, like, why did I say that? And I basically said, you can start booking battle reports right away, and as soon as you start getting them in, we can start getting you in for fuller days, because that way you can come in and start filming some battle reports. I was like, okay, so when do you want me to start booking battle reports? Was the response I came with. And as the words left my mouth, it was like, he just said that. Why? Why would I respond with this? This is my boss. I now sound like an idiot. So he gave me that look, and I was like, oh, I just realized what I said. I'm sorry. And he had a good laugh. I'm like, yep, you hired a moron. I'm sorry. Okay. So that's pretty much what happened with that one. But yeah, that was pretty much the first week at Mini Wargaming. Was very stressful. Very much me trying to learn the ropes as best as I possibly could. So. Another one of the comments, the only reason I remember it was Tabletop Banter was because it was the top comment on my channel. So the next comment that I had, well, not the next one, but the next one I remember was, do I like anime? Yes I do. I'm a huge fan of anime, actually. At the moment, I'm slowly working my way through Death Note. It started off really, really exciting, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And now Light just lost his memory, and I'm like, it's boring now. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one. I watched quite a few animes, actually. I have a tattoo based on Full Metal Alchemist, actually. I have an alchemic circle tattooed on the palm of my hand. You won't actually be able to see it. I know it sounds really weird. I sound like I'm lying right now, but once I explain, you'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Why would you do that? I got a alchemic circle tattooed on the palm of my hand, but I have it done with ultraviolet ink. So it's completely clear. You can see some scarring on the palm of my hand. You can actually see it on the camera here. But what happens is, under a black light, my hand actually, the tattoo will glow bright blue. I have a lot of tattoos like that, actually, but I got an alchemic circle tattooed right there. So, wow, the white balance is way off on my camera this morning. It's a weird lighting. I'm sorry, guys. I know I look like I'm glowing. Anyway, so. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of anime. Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, Bleach, One Piece, like all the basic ones, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, YouTube, or Yu-Gi-Oh, stuff like that. Yeah, I watched those when I was a kid. Attack on Titan. Soul Eater. Soul Eater was actually very good. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. So, and a couple more that just aren't coming to mind right now. Yeah, but yes, I do very much enjoy anime, more so than I probably should. It's actually one of the things I turn on in the background when I'm factory lining a paint job. So when I'm just painting tons of guys at once, and it's kind of a mindless thing, I usually do that and turn on some anime in the background. Has to be dubbed over. If it's just subtitled, I'm like, I'm going to focus on one of these, and the other one's going to get ignored. So that's pretty much how that turns out. Another one of the comments I had was, what would happen if I suddenly came into a large sum of money, like $500,000 Canadian? If I came into $500,000 Canadian, the first thing I would do would pay off my debts, because I was a student and I have student debts. Those would definitely get paid off. And then I was thinking, I have a couple ideas of what I'd love to do for like just small businesses, something I could do on the side, something that wouldn't take a lot of effort or maintaining on my part, just something that I could have as extra. That is not the idea that I had. No, some of the things that came to mind was like just buying property and renting it out, because that's something that my parents did and it worked out quite well for them. So it's something that I would like to try at some point, is just buying a property and basically becoming a landlord. I also had the idea, it's just an idea that popped in my head yesterday as I was driving home, but where Mini Wargaming is, we have a weird corner store thing. If you've ever seen any of the Life of a Wargamers, Dave usually goes in there for some of them. Like, it used to be a pawn shop, then it was a reptile store. That's just off the top of my head what it was. But basically, it's this two front doors, two rooms, like two side by side, but they're joined in like two spots. So it's like, that's really weird, but okay. So then the thought went through my head of, wow, it would actually be really, really cool, because Mini Wargaming doesn't have the space anymore to open up a store. But to open up independently of Mini Wargaming, but to open up a store where one side is completely shop and then the other side is all tables and play area and stuff like that. The rooms are large enough that you could probably fit about, I'd say, 6 game tables in there. And those tables are to accommodate anybody playing on a 4x6. And then if you wanted to go something smaller so that you could accommodate the Magic players, yeah, you could do that easily, and you'd probably be able to accommodate 30 people. So, because the reptile store used to be able to accommodate birthday parties, and they had like double birthday parties and things like that going on, where I think that's probably the reason why they didn't do very good, or ended up having to move somewhere else, is because they'd have 2 birthday parties going on at the same time. And when you have that happening, kids are like, no, it's my birthday, and the other kid's like, no, it's my birthday, and they start, and when there's reptiles involved, it's just a terrible thing. Yeah, anyway, so this store kind of came up and it popped in my head, like, wow, that'd actually be really, really cool if we had like a gaming store for that purpose in Welland again, and it would help draw in a bit more of a community and things like that. So if I suddenly came into a larger sum of money, that would probably be a little project that I would work on there, would be just getting some sort of a store type setup going on, and I would try and make it as local to Mini Wargaming as possible, just to try and help out there with the community. Not that I need it, but it would be great to have, like, you know, quick pro quo, whatever it is, where you help me, I help you type thing. So I think that would be really, really cool. But yeah, if I suddenly came into a large sum of money, that would definitely be the 2 things that I would do. 1, pay off my debts. 2, do some crazy business venture. Another one that I had, and this is from the guy whose name I can't pronounce. Sorry, dude. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. But you want to know, what is my least favorite Legion in 30K? I'm assuming in 30K. I have multiple ones for multiple reasons. For aesthetics wise, I would have to go with Night Lords. You know what? They look cool and all that, just not my cup of tea. It's like everybody wants to be Batman, pseudo Batman. So, I like their lore. I like the whole principles and their play style and stuff like that. I just can't get past the models personally. I know some people are like, no, those models look awesome. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I personally do not like the look of those models. It's just me. Another one I don't like, just for lore purposes, would be the Imperial Fists. They just didn't do anything ever. And even though other factions were like, hey, you should probably help us, he was like, yeah, let me get to no. So that just yeah, that's how I felt about that one. No, right, I should probably change lanes before I get in trouble. So that's pretty much the two there that I'm like about. Yeah, I can't think of any others that are like on my lower tier of preference. I don't have many. On a positive note, I finally started painting up a 30k Ultramarine army. I've painted one model. Go me. We have a slew. It's a word I don't get to use very often. We have a slew of Betrayal on Calth boxes, and with that, I actually was able to use the Praetor model, not the Praetor. The Little Lord Leader, not the one in Terminator armor, the one in Powder armor. I got to use him, and what I did was I actually customized him so that he's not holding the plasma pistol and the staff. Which, yes, before we start commenting, I know I messed up the staff on the Alpha Legion 1. I will fix it, but I changed this one so he's not holding the plasma pistol and the staff anymore. He's got a power fist and he's holding a combi melta. And then I swapped out the head so that it's not the head with a giant thing on top. It's just a regular helmetless head, actually. It's just a green face there. So I swapped all those out, and I'm going to paint that up to be Ultramarines. And I threw a banner on the back just to make it interesting. So, stuff to look forward to in the future there at Mini Wargaming from Quirk. I honestly can't remember. Oh, there were more comments. Now I have to try and remember what the comments were. I answered the one about Netflix. I answered the one about Legion. I answered the one about First Week. I answered the one about money. I feel like there was one more, and I can't quite remember what it was. I can't remember. I'm in trouble. Yeah, it's gone. I'm sorry. So with that, I have something that I want to just talk about and get everybody else's opinion on. So let me kind of back up a bit and explain how this idea came to mind. In the news on like Thursday or Friday, there's this whole thing going on about Planet 9, which is technically Planet 10, because I still believe Pluto is a planet. But Planet 9 was apparently discovered because of the orbit. It has to exist in order for the orbit of all the planets to make sense, and where their current projection is, it's the only way it would work. Just all this other stuff about how there's this planet out there that it's in our solar system. It's a little bit further out than Pluto, but it's on a different axis of rotation than what we are, so it's going to be very difficult for us to see it or prove that it exists because it's basically on the other side of the sun. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And the thoughts started to go through my head. With all the ways that technology is going right now, we have pretty much everything splitting up into different things. We have totally the possibility of becoming a dystopian, having a dystopian future. We also have the possibility, with the way robotics and everything's are going like that, of having a utopian future. And then I was thinking, well, with the very slow pace that it appears that things are being discovered out in space. Like, I know we have astronomers all over the place. They're always discovering new stars and things like that. But I mean, the actual desire by people to travel out into space. Like right now, we've gotten out to on a regular, semi-regular basis, we've gotten out to our satellite dishes. So pretty much the outer orbit of Earth. On rare occasions, I think 2, we've been to the moon. So, like, yeah, those aren't super crazy far, but then you look at like the advancements we've made in technology. Like, we can grow human organs now. We can basically replace we're working towards, and it seems to be a very harsh desire towards working to extending human life, which totally makes sense. Nobody really wants to die and doing all that stuff. But then we've also got the harsh ability that we could also be going to a dystopian future where like certain drugs are becoming legal, more drugs are becoming easily accessible. Just the reliance on the government from a lot of people, and just the unnecessary reliance. I'm sorry, I personally have a thing against people who will. I'm gonna sound really, really bad here, and I'm over it. But I get really frustrated when somebody's like, "Oh, I'm on welfare," and it's like, "Okay, well, you can work." They're like, "No, I can't. twisted my ankle once 3 years ago, and now I can't work, but the government pays me a check, so I tell them I was looking for a job, and eventually they leave you alone. I was like, no, no, you have to become a contributing part of society, folks. That's all you need to do to get on Quirk's side. Just be a contributing part of society. So, but yeah, stuff like that really bothers me. But that's becoming more regular and easily acceptable. Like, okay, sorry, before I continue, that's kind of bugging me. Don't have anything against people who are on welfare who legitimately need it. It's the people who have to like justify to themselves. If at any point in time you know somebody who's gone, no, I think I need this. No, if you think you need this, you probably don't. Unless for some reason you need assistance to get out of bed in the morning, you don't need that. So, that's my rant. Rant done. But it made me curious about what type of a future we're going to have. Are we going to end up becoming a dystopian future? Are we going to become a utopian future? Which personally I would think would be awesome. Are we going to start trying to travel out and become an intergalactic... Not intergalactic, but... intergalactic. Are we going to try and travel the star system? Are we going to try and look for new light? Are we going to eventually run out of resources on Earth and have to actually start working our way towards other planets? Like, who knows? Maybe that water on Mars is actually usable in some way, or has some sort of a fuel purpose that we could possibly use. Are we going to start trying to put solar panels on Venus because it's closer to the sun, so it can generate more power, and then just try and figure out some sort of a way to transport that back and forth to Earth on a regular basis? I don't know. These are ideas that just randomly pop into my head at times, so I figured I'd share them with you guys. I honestly want your opinions. Not on the welfare thing. That was done. If you have something mean to say to me about the welfare thing, go ahead. You can say it, but that's that's my opinion. So, but yeah, I'm curious about that. I'm curious about what would happen. Which one do you guys think we're leaning more towards? Do you think it would be more towards a dystopian future or a utopian future? Or are we actually possibly going to be traveling out to intergalactic? Is there a possible future that I just haven't mentioned here that you can definitely see happening? Stuff like that. Like, even with the dystopian future, the way people are going with body modification. Like, okay, yeah, that's nothing. But you've seen some people who have gotten, like, their faces reconstructed, like plastic surgery, to look more like cats. That's something you normally only see in science fiction involving some sort of a like dystopian or far future as a like different race. No, people are modifying their faces to do this. So again, nothing against that. I think it was cool, but I'm just saying it's something that I've noticed. So you get that. You get people who are like, everybody has to try and one-up each other nowadays, so you get to like the body modification stuff. I'm jumping all over topics here, but you get to the body modification stuff, and I remember way back when it was like, oh, you have a tattoo? Oh, you're so like hardcore. And now people are like, yeah, I got tattoos, my entire body's covered. Like, okay, cool, it's like wearing a shirt. And other people are like, yeah, I need to do something more hardcore than a tattoo because everybody else has got tattoos now, so I'm gonna get into scarification. And I watched a video on somebody getting that done. No, none of that, ever. Those of you who don't know what scarification is, basically it's when you cut the skin to the point where it will scar in a specific design. It looks like it hurts. They have to, like, a tattoo normally goes down about, I'm roughly guessing here, I believe it's 4 to 5 skin layers. Far enough that you can actually shed your natural skin without losing much of the tattoo's pigment, but not so far that it's actually going to end up entering a majority of your bloodstream. So it's designed to sit in between certain skin layers. The scarification one needs to basically sever all skin layers. So, yeah, no, that's a lot of blood. I don't mind blood, but I don't want to see my own in large quantities if I can avoid it. I still donate blood, doesn't mean I look at the bag. So, yeah, that's a whole lot of extreme stuff going on right there. And people getting their tongue split, like, good. Ew. That's gross. That's gross. So, I watched a video on YouTube of a person who went through a tongue-splitting process that took about 3 weeks. I was like, why? What they basically did was they had their tongue pierced, which, being somebody who's gotten my tongue pierced, that's not a huge thing. Like, you feel a warm pressure on your tongue, that's about it, and then it swells up for about a week. If you actually watch the, it's gone. The Orc Tau campaign. after the first 2 episodes, if you actually listen very carefully, you'll hear me slurring my words. That's when I got my tongue pierced. So there's a good chance that I'll be slurring my words as I'm talking. So, but anyway, this guy got his tongue pierced. I was like, okay, whatever, that's not that bad. Then he takes fishing wire and put it through, tied it to the end, and for about 3 weeks, every morning he would tighten it just a little bit. So he wouldn't actually notice the pain, but what was happening was it was slowly pinching and cutting the skin, and the skin would heal, and it would just kind of slowly work its way back until finally he hit the piercing hole and split his tongue. It looked, for the guy was basically just like, it doesn't hurt at all. I'm like, you can't talk for 3 weeks, and it looks like your tongue is about to explode. So, anyway, that is my morning drive minus the, well, actually no, with an addition of a rant and a possible posing of questions. What do you guys think could possibly be in the future? Will it be a dystopian, utopian, galactic, something else that doesn't come to mind? I keep saying those 3 because I like saying dystopian and utopian. But anyway, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Also, if you have any questions for me, leave those below as well. As always, be sure to like, share, and comment, not necessarily in that order. And also, if you're interested in seeing more videos with me, go to miniwargaming.com to check those out. Until then, I will see you guys tomorrow.